Alright, Shalom. Before I get started, I'm going to give all the praise and the glory and the honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha Kodash, which I give me the spirit and the strength to do this lesson. And also I want to give it double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and that teach well through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Wa Shalom, Wa Barakim to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, which are scattered abroad, and in every place, redeeming the time and ready to be saved. Redeeming the time and ready to be saved. Shalom. Shalak. But yeah, man, back with another lesson. Brief lesson. Lord willing is edifying to the hopefully elect. Alright. But pretty much, man, you know, this information that I want to present, all right, is it's prophecy. All right, this is prophecy that is unfolding. All right, you know, because as you see on the screen, you know, I typed in, you know, rivers drying up in America. All right, and AI overview, it says yes, major rivers in America, particularly in the West and Midwest, like Colorado, Rio Grande, and Mississippi, are significantly drying up due to long-term drought, mega drought, rising temperatures from climate change, and increased human water demand. All right, so I want to say this first of all. You know, that's the heat, because it get over 100 degrees. All right, for you know, days, you know, I should say. Well, that's Yahweh Shai Shai. He's doing. See, the world don't see this. All right, it gets so hot. All right, it gets so hot because Hey, I'm gonna put it this way: when you wash some clothes, right? You wash your laundry, towels, whatever it may be, and you want to air dry. The quickest way. The quickest way, if you want it to dry fast, the quickest way to dry it is to put it out in a hot environment. All right, it's gonna dry really quick, like fast, swiftly. All right, it's not gonna, you know, take hours. No, it's gonna dry swiftly. So that's what Yahweh Shai is doing. That's why he raises the temperature so high to fulfill his word. All right. So these rivers, all right, can be like it says, can dry up quick, because it said they are significantly drying up. All right. Yeah, you see, that's Yahweh Shai. It's all a part of his everything. That's all a part of his will, man. You know. But I'm gonna see this. It says, let me read that again. It says, yes, major rivers in America, particularly in the West and in the Midwest, like the Colorado, Rio Grande, and Mississippi, are significantly drying up due to long-term drought, mega drought, rising temperatures from climate change, and increased human water demand, causing supply chain disruptions, exposing historical artifacts. That's right. Exposing historical artifacts. And it's just And it was a minute ago. It was a while ago. I seen that on the news. I can't remember where it was, but anyway, it was an artifact that was seen, discovered, because the river or the sea was, the water got so low that this artifact was seen, and it was, I think it was a rock, but it was written. Man, I can't remember exactly. Man, it's been a while ago, but it was words written on. I can't remember what language it was, but it had to been the Greek, it had to been the Latin, the Hebrew, or the Greek, right? But what it said on there, it said, if you see this message or something like that, be afraid. It's something along those lines, all right. And that struck me, man, when I seen it, cause that's heavy, all right. That's what it said. It said something along those lines. When you see this message, be afraid. If you discover this message, be afraid. All right. I never forget that. All right, because understand that these rivers drying up, these seas drying up. This is the Lord punishing this place and these people. All right, because of the iniquity, the sins. Okay, and all this is leading to setting the stage for a famine. All right, because these farms, they're not, getting these plants and these farms, these crops is not getting the proper nutrients of water that it needs. All right, and it's caused a lot of crops to fail. You see, so this is the stage being set for this famine to come. And a lot of people, a lot of nations, they live off, they live off of water. They fish, they go fishing, they live off that, they make their money out there. And like the scripture said, like the script, like when they're losing water, all the fish is dying. All right. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. What is that? Let me see. Like Isaiah chapter 50. Isaiah chapter 50 and 2, it says, "Wherefore when I came, was there no man? When I called, was there none to answer? Is my hand shortened at all that it cannot redeem? Or have I no power to deliver? Behold, at my rebuke, I dry up the sea." You see, this is a rebuke. All right. It ain't just happening. All right. This is the rebuke of Yahweh, from Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. He said, "Behold, at my rebuke, I dry up the sea. I make the rivers a wilderness." All right, like we see here. All right, these major rivers in America. All right, this is, like I said, these are up. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But yeah, like you said, yes, major rivers in America, they are being dried up. And this is prophecy, man. And the Lord rebuking this place. He said, I make the rivers a wilderness. There you go. Their fish stinketh, because there is no water, and dieth for thirst. Alright? And like I said, that caused a famine. Alright? Because people catch fish and sell them, cook them, you know. Alright? So continue reading this. It says, causing supply chain disruption, exposing historical artifacts, and threatening ecosystems and water supplies for millions. Right, it said this trend affects numerous other rivers, including the Gilead, Pecos, Arkansas, and Sacramento, highlighting a broad crisis in U.S. waterways. You see? It said this video shows the impact of low water levels in the Mississippi River, right? You can go watch this yourself. Alright, but this is the Lord keeping his promise. You know, hey, we in the time of judgment, man, the time of rebuke. On a high level. It says the Colorado River severely overused, with water often running dry before reaching the Gulf of California due to dams, diversions, and drought. You see? It said Rio Grande has run dry in sections, with flow reduced to historical lows, impacting habits for endangered species. Right. It said Mississippi River levels have dropped to near record lows, disrupting barge traffic for agriculture. You see that? For agriculture and industry, and exposing shipwrecks. Ooh. Lord ain't playing, man. It said experiencing very low flows and dry sections. So this is the Lord keeping his word, man. He said he was going to bring this upon Babylon the Great. Alright? He said he was going to bring this upon Babylon the Great. What is that? I would what is that? You know what? What's that? Jeremiah, I believe it's 50. Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah 50 and 38. Here we go. It says, a drought on her waters. And this is in the NIV. A drought on her waters. They will dry up. You know what? Let me do this. It says, Jeremiah 50 and 38. It says, a drought is upon her waters. And then her is talking about America. That great horde that we see in Revelation 17, Salakia. Babylon the Great. Alright, it says a drought is upon her waters, right? You see, this was written for us to speak about today. Alright? Because a drought is upon her waters. We just seen it. Alright, it says yes, major rivers in America. Alright? Particularly the West and Midwest, their water is diminishing. Alright, 10:44, call on Bashmel Shah. But it says, a drought is upon her waters. That's right. And they shall be dried up. That's right. Man, they're gonna be dried up completely. All right. Yeah. So we witnessing this prophecy right before our eyes, man. Happening before our eyes. Let me get this too as well. In Jeremiah 51. It's Jeremiah 51 30. 36, it says, "Therefore thus said the Lord, Yahweh, behold, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea." Once again, that's sea, talking about Babylon the Great. And ultimately, this is a punishment happening to Babylon the Great for what they did to the children, the Yasharallah. Matter of fact, let me go up just to prove that. It says, Jeremiah 51 and 35. It says, "The violence done to me and to my flesh." All right, who is our flesh? We are kinsmen. All right, the Israelites. All right, it says, "The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon." Ooh-wee. It's heavy. It says, "The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitant of Zion say." And this is what this is what the elect is going to say when they looking down from that chariot onto Babylon's judgment. Right? It says, "The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitant of Zion say. And my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea shall Jerusalem say." Ooh, that's heavy. And that's going to that judgment, the main judgment. All right, it said, "Therefore thus said the Lord, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for thee." You see? "And I will dry up her sea." All right, "and I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry." There you go. "And make her springs dry." So this is the Lord recompensing Babylon the Great, all right, for what was done to us by drying up these rivers or these seas. All right. You see, it said, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for thee, and will dry up her sea and make her springs dry." Right, so once again, this is what's happening. These rivers drying up is because it's the Lord paying back Esau for what was done over here, done to the Israelites over here. All right. You know, taking away a nation's water is critical. All right, because you need water to do a lot to a lot. All right, so the Lord is taking that from them. Water is a resource that cannot be cannot be what's the word I'm looking for? That cannot be lacked. All right, when it comes to a business or not a business, so like it's the word I'm looking for, man. Basically, water is a resource that, you know, keeps life going. Put it like that. All right, like I said, you have without water, everything dies. All right, the plants, the crops, you know, animals, creatures. All right. So, and that's not good for humans. You see? But you see, and then another thing, you know, I'm gonna say stay away from this. Don't drink water out of the faucet. Cause you know Jake grew up doing that. You know, going to the kitchen sink, turn on the water and drinking water out of that. Stay away from that. All right, because they're recycling the water. All right, all that water that's coming from that goes into the sewage, you taking craps, pissing, all that goes into the sewage. Guess what? They're recycling that water into the water streams. All right, because of the shortage of water. You see, and I was just looking that up, so you know we gonna get that right here. It says AI overview: cities across the United States. All right, you see, we get facts here. All right, and this is another way of exposing these devils. All right, it says cities across the United States, particular in the arid West, where we are rapidly adopting secret or often overlooked recycling resolutions. All right, and what do you think they recycling? What does recycle mean? Like trash is being recycled into the trash is being recycled into the water streams. All right, it says let me read that again. It says cities across the United States, particularly in the arid West, are rapidly adopting secret or often overlooked water cycling resolutions to combat extreme drought and water scarcity. And that's nasty, man. All right, so you got crap, poop, you know, dung going out to the sewage, piss, and guess what? That shit is being recycled, all right, back into the water streams. And you go into the faucet or the kitchen, you know, the bathroom, you drinking water. That's what you drinking, man. Ugh. You know, that's disgusting, man. That's crazy. All right, it says extreme drought and water scarcity. It said, you see, hey, that's the Lord punishing. All right, it said these initiatives, often referred to as extreme water recycling or decentralized water reuse, involve turning wastewater all right, let me read that again. It said involved turning wastewater directly into potable drinking water. All right, or for non-potable uses like landscaping and toilet flushing. Whoo! You see that? Damn. It said involve turning wastewater directly into potable drinking water. What is that? What is this potable drinking water? Let's see. See? There you go. They even got the image for you. This is what it's talking about. Drinking water, potable water, is water that is safe for ingesting, either when drunk. You see? But that don't even make any sense, man. You see? But anyway, it says recycling this is involving turning wastewater directly into potable drinking water, or for non-potable uses like landscaping and toilet flushing. So the point is that this water, the wastewater, sewage water. What is? As a matter of fact, let me see. What's another word for sewage water? I mean wastewater. Basically sewage water. There you go. Here you go. Main types of wastewater. It says domestic wastewater. Sewage. There you go. Sewage. From toilets, black water, sink, showers, laundry, gray water, washing machines. So all this being recycled. And they talking about they purifying. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You see? That's bullshit, man. You know? Let's get Psalms 18. The Lord is putting a drought on this place, man. Alright, this is Psalms chapter 18, verse 15. It says, "Then the channels of waters were seen, right, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of thy nostrils." Alright, you see. So yeah, man, Lord, when it was edifying, until next time I say shalom.